That's when I saw a whole wave of people that weren't doing that start doing that. Benny's upset.
What Benny said?
He said he feels like Griselda needs to get more props for their influence. And De La Soul actually, in an interview, backed them as it relates to them bringing back the New York sound. He said, and this is the interview with, De La Soul. They were speaking about Griselda. And Maceo says, who I'm paying attention to at this very moment right now is Griselda. They're the group that actually has a kind of brought it back home. You know, the New York, in my opinion. New York has lost its way for some time. We talked about mainstream. People have embodied other styles of music just to sell records instead of just focusing on being artistic. So Maceo was in the interview shouting out Griselda. Now Benny went off. He said these N-words been putting out tapes, and a lot of these N-words been doing their expletive. But Griselda is still the standard. We inspire these N-words. We made these N-words believe they could build this expletive. These N-words ain't think they could do it, he said during the PSA. Benny the Butcher.
I'm sorry, I was on the fourth N-word. I can't help but laugh.
Hey, I'm just reading it. Benny the Butcher continued to explain that a lot of the artists failed to be as persistent as them and eventually gave up. However, he said that that changed once Griselda came out. So he's basically saying they fathered a lot of styles and that they should get their flowers.
Who did they father?
Yeah, who did they father?
I'm just throwing out there what Benny said.
And we've talked extensively.
We love Griselda.
About Griselda here.
Definitely.
We show so much love to Griselda during the 300 some odd episodes.
Facts.
But, if anybody has been influential on New York hip hop, been Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
That whole movement, like and Byron can speak to this. Think about the records that we play on Saturday night.
Yep.
Do we play? I mean, and I know people be like, "Oh,
No
whatever
Griselda.
the club." We'll sneak Griselda in early, but it's that drill influence. Like when you listen to Ice Spice,
yeah.
When you listen to the game Lola Brooke,
Yep.
that's Pop Smoke. That's Pop Smoke's influence.
Fabio Foreign.
Yeah. That's Pop Smoke. Like they're picking up what he wasn't able to finish.
So let me interject. I want to play devil's advocate, right?
Okay.
As it relates to the club, I understand. First of all, both of y'all are in there, so y'all know. So
We're seeing. Look,
far be it for me to tell you what you playing and what's not.
We see how
popular.
pop culture, like in hip hop culture, moves in real time.
But what I'm saying is, as it relates to Griselda, and I think about the wave, the 𝐾𝐁𝐎𝐷𝗔𝗗𝗦, the Alchemist wave, the Jay Worthy that you talked about, the style of production. There's a huge wave that came off that vibe. I think to Benny's
That wave
point,
was always there.
I don't know if it was always there until when they came back.
Alchemist, yeah.
Alchemist was doing
Alchemist hadn't gone nowhere in 20 years.
Alchemist was doing it, but what I'm saying is when he started linking up with Griselda and they started
became bigger.
It became way bigger and more people started to do it.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe.
I firmly believe that his work with Griselda and the rest of their producers and all that type of stuff.
Okay,
I think there's a wave that came based off Griselda.
But who is the wave though?
Yeah, what is the wave?
I mean, think about all
It's the same people that travel in that circle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's
I agree.
you're gonna get Griselda, you're gonna get Larry June,
Yep.
you're gonna get
Currency.
Jay Worthy, the same people that he been working with.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But when people talk
and
about,
that's a big wave though, because I see now they might not be as notable or artists that we say that are huge, but there's so many people that you can log onto on Spotify, YouTube. People send you young artists, and they got the same
But to
wave.
me-
I think that same so you could put Harry Fraud in that.
Thank
same
you.
thing
That's
too.
another one. That's another one.
But at the same time, what I think we're speaking on right now isn't a Griselda influence. It's an
the
alchemist.
producers,
It's
exactly.
It's an alchemist influence.
Thank you.
My only argument against that.
'Cause who else is rapping like Griselda?
But I agree.
I mean,
with
like
you.
really, Rome Streets. He's a part of Griselda.
I agree with you, but what I'm saying is,
Stove
I think
God.
as it relates,
Who's related?
yeah,
You know
what
what
I'm even with Stove God, I think Stove God, as it relates to Alchemist, I'm not saying Alchemist is not who he is from an influence standpoint. What I'm saying is when that sound got attached to Griselda, that's when I saw a whole wave of people that weren't doing that start doing that. That's
okay.
all I'm saying.
I see what you're saying.
That's all I'm saying.
And I guess we do, and I will say we do see a lot of. I personally see from a bringing down the band standpoint of artists trying to put out music. When I go to our Turn Off Your Radio playlist, I see a lot of artists trying to do that style.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I can see that.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I still don't think that the influence is as big as what you would say a Pop Smoke would be.
Okay.
In that aspect. It's
so
very
maybe
niche.
Benny's a little OC in terms of how adamant he is about it, but
I think in his circle it makes sense.
I think there's some smoke there. Like I really think it's some smoke there.
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, because if that was the case, that would be the only sound that Benny the Butcher has been focusing on. But Benny has been actually reaching out to Hit Boy and all these other people trying to branch out and get another sound, because that sound is just putting him in a box.
I remember a couple years ago we did a record with Cash Doll.
That's what I'm saying.
But would you consider, even though he's working with different producers, would you still consider that the Griselda sound?
It definitely is the Griselda sound.
So that's the nuance there, I think, maybe.
What do you think is the height of the Griselda sound? For me, it's Pray for Paris.
I don't know. Conway's my favorite Griselda rapper. I mean, I like Benny a lot, but
Pray for Paris.
Conway's cold, man.
I'm sorry, Pray for Paris. I don't think I've ever listened to more.
Tanner Talk 3 is big.
Tanner Talk 3 is real.
Tanner Talk 3 is big.
Westside make the best records, man.
He does. He makes the
best
full
projects.
project cohesiveness.
He's just the worst rapper.
What?
But
he's the worst rapper.
he is the East Coast swag rap.
Yeah,
exactly.
he's swag. His swag is through the roof.
He's East Coast swag rap.
But as
maybe
an
call
MC,
him the worst rapper is not the best way
out
to
the three, bro.
appropriate,
Out the three. That's all.
but,
Just out the three.
you know,
Just out the three.
yeah.
I ain't saying he trash. I'm just saying.
The Buffalo Shooters gonna come for you.
I'm just saying. Out of the three,
No, Benny is better as a rapper. And Conway is better as a rapper.
But his swag is like we talked about Larry June. His swag is through the roof.
I mean,
like he knows how to
Westside
put
Gunn
records
is my
together.
text message.
Yeah, like I ain't.
Hey,
Fam
yo.
knows he know how to put records together. Facts. Like you can't take that from him. He does.
You know, Quiet as Kept. I think there's one coming that's gonna be better than all of them.
Cool.
Who's that?
Stove God.
You think? I like Stove.
I like Stove
for the most
God.
part.
I think Stove God gonna be better than all of them. Like eventually, once he get that shine.
Okay.
Do you think he's already better now?
I still think he'd have some work to do.
I need to hear
before
a great like more than one great project from him. Like
What's he missing, do you think?
an album. Like I know what was the one he had?
Reasonable
Drought.
Reasonable Drought.
Yeah.
Reasonable Drought had
Yeah,
heat.
it was a dope project. It was a dope project.
Yeah.
But I need to hear like 2 or 3 consistent projects from him.
So you need consistency.
Yeah.
I see.
But okay,
His feature game been high. He's been popping out.
Let's take it away from. I mean, and I know Griselda is the one that we're mentioning here, but when there's a whole thing. Yo, we gonna bring the East Coast back. Remember that whole movement?
Yeah.
But then I think about, and it's wild because I think about how long ago it is now. Remember when Dave East hitting everybody was on
he
Dave
was gonna
East?
do it.
Because
I was one of them too.
But this show you how long ago was. I remember because it was the 9th. Take that Tuesday anniversary.
9th.
The 9th
Wow.
one, and we're on
17
17
tomorrow.
right now. And I remember because
8
James
years ago.
Biko, aka DJ Needles, he was
Yep.
our guest.
I remember that.
And I was like, yo, you need to check this dude out. You know what I'm saying? So that's how long ago the Dave East thing was supposed to be popping. And
He just
then
never
before
really-
that, it was Joey Badass, who now a lot of people, they know him as an actor.
Yep.
Joey, that last album was cold though.
And I love Joey
Man.
Badass. Like I've bought
Man.
Joey Badass, like bought the CDs.
I would say that,
You know,
that Griselda has had definitely a bigger movement than Dave East and
Or Joey
Joey
Badass,
Like
yeah.
by far, it's not even close. But I don't know if is it really a New York sound though? I don't know. Can you call it a New York sound?
I think
call it a New York
Buffalo is
sound?
different than them 5
Nah,
boroughs.
but even further, can you call it a New York sound when a
It's
lot
just
of that
traditional.
sound is influenced from Alchemist? I'm just saying.
Alchemist is from LA.
Exactly. So
I
It's
just-
just boom bap hip hop. It's traditional.
I think it is though. I think it is, and I know based off their age, I know what they were influenced by because we're very close to their age, very close, more than I actually thought.
yeah, for sure.
And I know what they came up on, and I know what they're drawing from in terms of their sound and how they put records together. So would it be considered a New York sound to me? In my opinion, it is. I think it is because it's cut from that cloth, from the quote unquote what we always tend to call the golden era. Like it's cut from that cloth. Like we were all around the same age around the time that stuff came out, them included.
Yeah.
Like we would have went to high school with them.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're too far off the path of that.
I mean,
see
I
what I'm
guess
saying?
you could say that a lot of the production that they choose from Alchemist and Derringer and I don't know, Beat Butcher and all
Right.
those dudes, it's kind of derived from like Havoc and
Yep.
and RZA.
RZA, some Primos in there. Yep.
Yeah, some Primo. Yeah,
Yep,
but
Primo's in there. Even
but
some Pete Rock.
it's got like that kind of like angst in the production. It's got that like feeling of like
grit.
Something's about to happen.
Dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that video of one of the performances they had when they were coming up and ascending. Like there's that video of Raekwon that's on the stage. He like, man, they bringing it back,
sure.
and we we love them, and this is what the game has been missing. And like he was basically giving them their flowers on stage for the same reason that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So they definitely cut from that cloth, and
that's probably to bring it all the way back around.
Right.
That's probably where Benny is coming from.
I think so.
He's coming from. So. He's like, who cares what's working pop wise?
Right.
Yeah.
From what New York has always sounded like, we are bringing that New York sound back.
Then shut up.
Huh?
If all the legends giving you your props,
you don't need to speak on it.
You don't need to say it.
Shut up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you might not never make it to that stage. If that if that's what you're expecting,
right,
bro, you don't do that. The game has moved on to that point.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So just man, do your thing.
Keep going.
I mean,
unless you want to go hop on like Metro Boomin beat.
Right. I mean, it's kind of to your point. It's like there's multiple OGs that have already come out and said that they are that. Mm-hmm. So,
like, if Raekwon's passing you a torch, what else?
There's not too much more you need than Raekwon passing you the torch, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he did only build for Cuban links.
Yeah,
like what else?
What you need? Like, to me, if Raekwon came out and gave me a stamp in whatever thing I was doing, I'd be like, that's enough. Man. Yeah, I'm cool. Like Raekwon told me that.